Zoom or this webinar right now. I know we have, and it's a parent of one of our students, or one of the students who's been working with us, who's been working with our tutors here at Elevation Learning Center. I want to welcome her, Mrs. Louisa Kenap. We want to welcome you to our webinar today. And I'm not sure if she's able to unmute. We just want to make sure that she's able to communicate.
Yep. Can you hear me?
Absolutely.
Hey.
Thank you so much for being here, Mrs. Louisa.
Absolutely. Congratulations on 1 year.
Yes, it's been a marvelous year, and we're looking to do it again.
Absolutely. I really hope so. Many more to come.
All right. Mrs. Louisa, we want to just ask you a couple of questions. Maybe those questions might actually help a parent who's thinking about something. We want to, first of all, what state are you in?
Virginia.
You are in the state of Virginia.
Yes.
All right.
You left me off the slide. Virginia was on there. You get to add another state.
Virginia was not on there.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's because we wanted you to say it publicly.
Oh yes, I wanted to surprise. Yes.
But yeah, we actually on the slide we tried to put as many of the state and as many of the cities as we could, but yeah, we actually left some out, unfortunately. But we're glad to have you here today, Mrs. Louisa. We'd like to just simply ask you, how did you hear about us?
You know, my son was struggling, having some challenges in algebra. And so I started researching on the internet and connected with Elevation. And the rest is history. It's been a terrific experience thus far.
Okay, and that's actually was going to be my follow-up question to you is, how have your experience here with ELC or Elevation Learning Center, what it's been like?
I really can't express my gratitude enough for Elevation. Braden has not only improved in algebra, but he's gained a confidence in algebra, which is equally important. He's proud when he does well, and he's excited about that. And instead of having a very negative attitude going into the classroom, he feels empowered. As you were speaking before about the word empowered, that is what Elevation has done for Braden. So he will actually text me in the middle of the day to text the tutor to let him know, please let him know I got an A on an exam, which is incredible to me, because for a 15-year-old to connect with a tutor so much so that he wants to share his successes with that person, that speaks for itself, I think. He never hesitates to let me know when he's having trouble and ask for help to work with Elevation, which is not something that I've experienced with prior tutoring situations. He typically dreads it, avoids it if he can. So that has been a remarkable difference. So he trusts Elevation, and he enjoys working with you guys. So I really can't say enough.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing. One final question I would ask you. What would you advise parents that are trying to, provide help and support for their children, their kids, to make sure that they excel? What advice would you, or do you have, or would you give to a parent maybe who's considering, who's thinking about, ways of helping their children, just like you was looking for ways to help your son? What advice would you give to a parent today?
Just because someone advertises that they're a math tutor does not mean that they're a good match for your child necessarily. And you don't have to take that person. You can interview them to work with your son or daughter, and find the person that they're comfortable working with, because that's just as important as the knowledge of the tutor. If you don't have the buy-in from your child, it's not going to work. So I think what I've learned from Elevation is that You can find a tutor that's genuinely invested in your child's success and celebrates your child's successes with them. And that's important because there are a lot of folks out there, and they're not bad people. They're very smart individuals and they do a great job, but they're not invested or care about your child and aren't invested in learning how your child learns so that they absorb as much knowledge as possible. And that has been a really key difference. And I think it's very important. It's makes the experience 75% more valuable. I would even say 75% more valuable. I feel like.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing, Mrs. Louisa. And once again, you said the state of Virginia, correct?
Yes.
Well,
yes, my father graduated from UMass, and I was born in Greenfield, so I have ties to Massachusetts. But
oh, that's awesome. So thank you once again. Thank you for sharing with us. And if any of you have any questions or any comment, once again, don't forget, you can always write it in the comment box. If you have a question for Mrs. Louisa that you can share it in the comment box. I don't want to put her on the spot, but you can share it on the comment box, and she'll probably be able to answer you through the comment box as well, the chat. So we encourage questions, and we just want to thank you, Mrs. Louisa, for taking time out of your busy schedule just to be here with us on the webinar and also sharing Braden's experience with Elevation Learning Center.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm so glad you guys have celebrated your first year, and I wish you guys lots of success in the future.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I'm looking through the chat, and I'm looking at some of our students. I see one of our students who's from the state of Maryland. I see another one who's from the state of Texas. I see another one here I see a few of them from Florida. There's one here from California. So, it's wonderful to be able to not only have an impact locally, but starting to have an impact globally. So once again, thank you, Mrs. Louisa, for sharing with us your experience at Elevation Learning Center.